Hey y'all, welcome to Pink Shade. It's Tuesday. So I'm here with my friend Kimberly to talk about 90 Day Fiance, Season 10, Episode 7, Speak Now or Forever Hold Your Peace. Yeah, we're just going through the vows. Kimberly.
Yeah, so that means we have to stop talking about Dr. Pimple Popper and my favorite growths.
You guys, we just spent 10 minutes talking about, and I can't remember how we got on it. Oh, you said, okay, so I said I'm going to suck on this Mucinex cough drop to see if it'll help my throat. And you said, Big Ed looks like the Mucinex man.
Yeah, which is not me. That's the internet that came up
Yeah, I
with that
understand.
one. Yeah,
And that's true. And then I
I'm
said,
not that clever.
or he sort of looks like the guy that's on those like toe fungus commercials, but they lift up the toenail like it's a door and the man's like, rah, rah, here I am, toe fungus. It's so gross. And we were talking about that. And then you went in to explain how you love Dr. Pimple Popper, but you couldn't watch that My Feet Are Killing Me show.
Right.
Then we started talking about somebody I saw recently that had kind of a growth behind their ear that was huge. And I couldn't understand, like it's so distracting. I was trying to talk to this person at a store and I couldn't look at anything else, but also didn't want to look at it. And then I told you I'd be able to watch that show if they'd literally show me, like, here's what the person looked like before with this big growth on the side of their head. But I want to see what they look like after she fixes it. And you were telling me some of the grossest stuff that happens in the interim that I had to take out my cough drop for fear of vomiting.
But I did say it's a beautiful show, even though it's disgusting, because it really does change people's lives. And like,
Yeah.
if I could grant all of these people insurance so that they could all get their growths fixed, it's really life-changing for these people. Some of them have it
Sometimes
for
it's
30
not fixed
years.
because it's considered like cosmetic. So they have to
Yeah,
just
if they
have a
can't
giant.
afford it, maybe. But most of
Yeah.
the time, it seems to be fear of doctors or fear of finding out that it's really bad. So they just avoid the situation. And
Uh-huh.
they go and she takes it out and it's so easy peasy and it smells bad what's in there for sure and gross.
Mm.
And it looks like different consistencies of foods and stuff. She'll
Oh
explain what
my
it looks like.
God.
But then it's life-changing, and then you see them walking around and they're not embarrassed and they're not hiding, and it's so beautiful.
Mm.
And she does that for people, and then they cry, and then I cry.
But do they have to show what's inside of it?
Yeah, they
Ooh,
do that for the
Kimberly.
people like me who are poppers, I guess, and who enjoy that sort of thing. Katie is a popper for sure. She'll do it on anybody. She like wants to do it. She wants to know what's inside. Um,
Yeah.
I was once in line at Disneyland and the lady in front of me had pimples all
Mm.
over her back and her friend, maybe her mom, was literally popping them with her nails and wiping the gunk from the inside of the pimples on the railing
No.
that we all touch.
No.
And that was
Kimberly.
disgusting. That's wrong. I say that's wrong. And as a popper, I say that's wrong. You keep that gunk to yourself. You do that inside your house and you sanitize and you wipe up and
And
that's
get a
gross.
tissue or something.
Yeah.
This has been
Baby
the
wipes.
worst 3 minutes of my week.
You're welcome.
I'm so grossed out. I cannot believe you just told me so many gross things in the last 10 minutes.
Sorry. And there's so much more. I have them locked and loaded at all times.
That is.
Yeah.
God, how are we going to get past this to move
I
into
don't
this
know.
episode?
We're going to talk about Gino and Jasmine. I mean, they both
Oh
have
my
great
gosh.
skin, except she was a little rashy a week or two ago. So maybe.
God bless. Oh my gosh. Wow. We were
Yeah.
talking over the weekend. I was talking to Amy Archer over on Hey Bunky on Pink Shade Prime. We were talking about Plathville and we were talking about 90 Day the Other Way. And we were talking about Sarper. We were saying he just sort of seems like he smells like a 10-pack-a-day smoker, but he just seems to be covered in a film of ash. Doesn't he just seem to be just covered in ash?
I don't know. I don't see that. To me, it looks like he bathes in Axe body spray.
That
Like he
too.
soaks in it.
Yeah.
Like he takes a bath in it.
He just seems so dirty to me.
I think he seems too clean to me. Too,
Uh,
like, too polished, like a Ken doll. Like, and I don't mind if you wax your chest, go for it, but, like,
yeah.
I think he waxes everything, his
Oh,
whole
for
body.
sure. For sure.
Yeah.
If you when you pull his pants down, it looks like a Ken doll. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just a plastic lump. Oh no, now we've really gone down another path, but it's better than where we were because
Yeah.
wow, I will have to go back to talking about how much I love Billie Eilish. And I was just looking
She's a
at
palate
a
cleanser.
she's a palette cleanser because I was looking at a variety video where they would hand her pieces of paper that had her just random lyrics pulled out of songs of hers, and she would say it and then say like, does she know the song is from and like what it meant when they wrote it and all this. Yeah. So I was really enjoying that, getting into that before I realized, I'm supposed to be recording something. I should go
That's why
upstairs.
you were late?
No, I was late because I was using the ladies' room
Oh, okay.
and then I had a little headache and I forgot to take my Advil. So I've asked someone in my family to bring me Advil. We shall see if it
Yeah.
appears.
Mhm.
We'll see. How are you preparing for the upcoming Thanksgiving holiday?
I'm moving my parents out of their house into a
Uh huh.
retirement community on the
Yes.
29th. So
Oh,
I
see, I
will
thought they'd already moved. No.
no, we've been
Mm,
packing and trying to sell their house.
yeah.
So, 29th, what's today? The 20th. So, I will be spending all of the next week packing their house. We are doing Thanksgiving at my cousin's on Thursday for the first time ever because
Okay.
usually my
Yeah.
parents host for 20 people or so.
You're right.
But we're trying to transition them out of that. And
Yeah.
then Saturday we're going to my brother and his wife's house for a second Thanksgiving. So
Wonderful.
I'm overflowing, and I will also be taking a moment of silence for the indigenous people
Oh,
because,
that's what Thanksgiving is about, really.
yeah,
Um,
it's a
I
day of mourning.
I um have a
People are
question.
laughing so hard at me right now. They're like,
No, I'm
"Oh
just
my
going right
god,
past it.
she's such a woke liberal white woman."
She's such a woke liberal Californian. Oh my
Yeah.
God, you've been in California too long, girl.
Yeah.
Um, it says it right on my calendar, like that I don't populate. It says Columbus Day and also says Indigenous Peoples Day on my
Mhm.
calendar. That they put it there for you to
Mhm.
understand. So, okay, what's your favorite Thanksgiving dish? You don't eat meat, so all your favorites are sides. So, what's your fave?
Stuffing if it doesn't have chicken or anything in it, but I
Mhm.
like a Stouffer's stuffing, like straight out of the box. Like
Yeah.
my brother makes his super fancy, and I eat green bean casserole year round. I take
Okay.
some green beans,
Yeah.
frozen or canned, and I put
Mhm.
some mushroom soup on it.
Yeah.
Even though I hate mushrooms, I love the cream of mushroom soup, and then
Yeah.
I put it in the microwave. This
Oh.
is so embarrassing. And then I
Uh-huh.
sprinkle some, like, crispy onions or those,
Yeah.
like, chow mein noodles, like, something
Yeah.
crunchy on
Yeah.
top.
The crispy onions are so good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm making squash dressing, which is,
Mm.
in the South, usually we say dressing, not stuffing. And stuffing generally implies that it's been stuffed into the turkey and the
Yeah.
dressing is something on the side. Squash dressing. And I think that you would really like it. It has a Jiffy corn mix, like Jiffy
Oh.
corn bread mix, squash, onions, um, cheese, of course. And
Cheese?
cheese, just have a little cheese, I think. Let me look right now. But I want to tell you that it does have cream of chicken soup in it. And I wonder if you could replace that with something else and then you
I'm
could
sure
eat
you
it.
could. Um, oh, actually, my favorite, but we're not having this year, is twice baked potatoes. That's what I usually
Oh,
make. My brother usually requests twice baked potatoes.
well, that is my specialty. Okay, we've got 2 cups of squash, cubed, boiled, drained, and mashed. We got 1 box of Jiffy corn muffin cooked, 2 eggs beaten, 1 can cream of chicken soup, 1 onion chopped, 1 bell pepper chopped, and 1 stick of butter. No cheese.
Mm. I didn't think there would
Saute
be
onion and
cheese.
pepper in the butter. Mix it together with everything else. Bake for 350. There you go.
Delicious.
It's freaking delicious, and I think you would love it, except for the cream of chicken part. Could you get a vegan style cream of chicken soup? They probably
Yeah.
make that. Probably get that at the Whole Foods or the Erewhon or wherever you shop out there in California.
Yeah.
Ah, that's my recipe, guys. I'm having that, and I'm having a like a sweet and sour green bean situation, but that involves bacon. But you wrap the green beans in bacon, and then you pour this like hot vinaigrette on top of it. It's so good.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Those are my two favorite things, so I'm making them so I can feed myself.
Good. So
My
you'll
hus
be
my hus
happy.
I'll be happy. Husband will do mashed potatoes, and then we'll do rolls, which are a big family tradition in my husband's family, and
Oh,
then we're
I
gonna
love
do
a roll.
steak. We do steak
Steak,
because
not turkey.
nope. Why? It's 4 of us. Why would we make a turkey? So stupid.
I love that.
Yeah,
Make it
yeah.
easier.
Make it easier. And really, will I eat much steak? Probably not. I'm gonna be stuffing my face with the squash.
Yeah, the sides are where it's at.
Sides are where it's at. So I hope everybody out there, you're getting this on Tuesday. You've got 2 days till Thanksgiving. I've just given you a recipe, and Kimberly has given you an idea for something to make in the microwave.
If you're a sad single lady in her 40s who lives in a very tiny apartment with a small kitchen,
Yeah,
plop the green beans and then plop the soup and then you put it in the microwave.
yeah. I mean,
3 ingredients. You got to put the crunchy stuff on top
but afterwards.
afterwards. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't want to put that in the microwave. That'll make it gross.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, guys, we've given you ideas and suggestions, and we hope that whatever you're doing out there for Thanksgiving, it'll be fun. And I will tell you, everyone out there still listening, if you haven't hung up because of Kimberly's disgusting pimple popper stuff, I'll tell you that on Thursday there'll be a very special episode of Pink Shade for your Thanksgiving ears. You want to know what it is?
What?
It's going to be an interview with Chantel.
No.
Yes, I'm interviewing her on Wednesday, and the
Are
episode
you
will come out on
kidding?
Thursday on Thanksgiving.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I'm very excited about it.
Oh my gosh. And
Big
when are
fan.
you
Remember, she
talking to
hugged
her?
me at that party and told me I was the only one that understood her.
Shut up.
She did. She gave me her phone number, but I have not texted her because I went through the proper channels to get my interview. I don't want to mess
Overstep.
up. I don't want to overstep. I don't want to mess up any of my TLC contacts. Just
Wow.
go right through the right channels. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So happy Thanksgiving from me and Chantel.
Okay, amazing.
Yeah. And if you're on the $10 level on Pink Shade Prime, you'll get to see the video. All right. Let's get started. 90 Day Fiance, Season 10, Episode 7. Speak now, forever hold your peace. So we're going to start out with Jasmine and Gino. Now, I know we usually end with them, but the episode started with them, so that's where we're starting. Jasmine and Gino, we open with these whack jobs, and most people are calling full fakery on this. They're saying
Yeah.
this whole thing with the lip gloss was totally fake because at one point she gets up out of the car and she is in fact holding 2 lip glosses in her hand.
Yeah, first people spotted it on her dresser, and then
Right.
they spotted her getting into the car, going to the family meeting thing with
Yeah.
his family with 2 lipsticks and like 2 different shades. And one appears to be the one that she found.
Okay. Now the picture I saw where she's holding the 2, she was when she was yelling at him getting out of the car and then like her phone falls on the ground. Then she had the 2.
Oh, interesting. The tweet I saw said that it was when she was getting into the car, but I
Okay.
didn't
Well,
go back and look.
I'll
The
have to go back
internet,
and look.
you can't really trust anything, so
No.
I should have done a deep dive.
Yeah, because when she's getting out, she's got 2, and one of them is the one from the car, and one of them is the one from her when she was getting ready, because they're 2 different ones. So I wonder if when she went to the bocce ball, if she just had like her lipstick in her hand. Sometimes I do that. I'll just stick my lipstick like in my pocket.
Mhm.
If I'm going somewhere where I need to reapply lipsticks, maybe I'll be drinking beer with cousin Dana and playing
Mhm.
bocce ball.
So
Um,
wait, do you think she dropped it and then did not realize it was hers and went crazy, or dropped it on purpose, knew it was hers, but pretended to go crazy and did the whole thing for the show and was acting
neither.
the whole time?
Neither. I think listen, this is why I have this job that I love because I
Mhm.
believe that she found that in his car. I don't believe the whole thing's fake. I really don't.
Hmm.
Because I think she could act like that and be like, okay, we're going to do this. We're going to act crazy. Watch me. It's going to be. I don't think he's a good actor. I don't think
Right.
he could fake his emotions back to her. I just don't. I think she could. I think she could pull that whole thing off.
Oh yeah, she's an actress for sure.
But I don't think he has the skill to be able to if and then what, back to her. No, I don't.
Yes, and
Yes,
um,
and
I'm
if then
so
that. I don't know.
I'm, I'm very curious to hear what your listeners think.
I think most people think it's fake. I'm just so sick of them.
Yeah,
And I really am. And I think that this episode did it. And
yeah.
it's been years. And so
It's
finally I'm
not
like, you know
fun to
what?
watch them anymore. If it
No,
was
because
ever, but it's not.
it's just plus press play. It's gonna be the same thing over and over.
Uh-huh.
You
Yeah,
know?
and I think that it makes sense that it would be fake. They want to have drama for the show, but I don't want to believe it's fake. I want to believe it's all real because then all
Me
of my
too.
life is for naught. And
Exactly.
but we're
Yeah.
still watching it for entertainment value, and that's what they want. So we're still,
Right.
you know,
Yeah. Right.
I'd actually almost rather have it be fake than be like, this woman has a mental illness.
Right. Well, when I met her, she was lovely.
If
Okay.
you get to meet
So
them again, you know you're asking, and you will say, I'm not going to tell on the show, I promise. I swear on my life that I will not tell on the show, but was that lipstick thing fake? And then you can tell me, just you won't tell
okay.
the people.
Okay, that's a deal.
But I'll
That's a
tell
deal.
you guys.
Okay. All right.
I'll say it
So
on Reddit.
under one of your aliases.
Yeah.
Um, so all right, so she's crying and saying, like, I want to go back to Panama and let me get my dog, let me get my things, and I'm leaving, and I hate this, I hate the cold, I hate everything, I hate Michigan.
Yeah.
He's like,
That's
he's like,
that actually felt
that's
real. That it's
well,
just
that was
everything
real.
that she hates that's coming out. I
Yeah,
hate the
and she
stains
hate,
in the bottom of your toilet. I hate
oh,
everything.
oh, and he's like, I've never cheated on you. There was no girl in my car. I'm in love with you. I would never do that to you. And she's like, I don't feel love. Why are you doing this to me, Gino? Everybody in my life abandons me. And she's bawling, crying. She tells us she has abandonment issues. Her dad left her when she was 3, and he let her mom know he regretted having her and didn't want to be any part of her life. So she was 3. So why would her mother tell her that? She was
Yeah.
3.
I hope
Her
she
mother
told
could
her
have just said your
later, but
father
don't tell
left,
her at
and
all. Yeah, don't tell her at all.
she could have been like, your dad left, and that's really sad, and we don't know what happened to him. But she don't have to be. He said specifically, it's because of you,
Yeah, take one for the team, mom, and say it was you. And then
right?
she'll hate you. Just say it was him. He has his own issues.
Yeah,
It had
I mean,
nothing
and
to
that's
do with
true.
you. That's what you're supposed
Yeah,
to say when parents get divorced. We love you
yeah,
both. This isn't your fault. The mom
right.
is like, this is basically your fault.
Not basically, like
This is your
100%.
fault.
Yeah. So I
No
think
wonder she's
that's
messed up. I keep thinking
yeah,
of that John Mayer song, Fathers Be Good to Your Daughters.
yeah,
Daughters will love like you do. And
that's right.
it's true. This messed Jasmine up.
Yeah, that's right. Mothers, be good to your daughters too. Okay, let's
Hmm.
just finish it off there. Okay. So she cries and is like, it all comes from that. Like, if my own father didn't love me or want me, why would any man love me or want me? And they get in the car and he's like, because it's cold, and he goes, Jasmine, like, I love you. I would never cheat on you. Like, I don't know where this is coming from. I don't know where that came from, blah, blah, blah. So next day, we don't know what happened. That's it. We ended up with them talking in the car. So then we see 81 days to wed. Now, Jasmine is working out under the sad Panamanian flags that are starting to droop a little
True.
bit.
Yeah.
Did you see her thigh master? She has a thigh master.
Oh no, I thought she had bands around her legs.
She had bands, she had free weights, and she had a thigh master.
I used to have a thigh master just like
Me too.
5, 10 years ago. I
Me
used
too.
it under my desk at work like once.
Great
And then I
idea.
left. And then I thought, oh, I'm going to do this all the time. And then I did it never. But for those of you who have a desk that's closed in the front, that's not a
Yeah.
bad idea if you have more dedication than I do.
I need to do something about my flat ass. So if there's a flat ass
I
master that I could do under my desk, everybody let me know. So,
think you just got to
so
do spots.
I don't want to do squats. That's the
Okay,
whole
then.
thing. That's what everybody tells me. And I'm like, I need a different answer. I need a different answer. Do I need to get a BBL like Jasmine? I don't know.
No.
No. So she says, y'all, I'm sorry. She says, I have always wondered how much Gino loves me. And I was hoping once I moved to the United States, I'd feel better. But it's getting worse and worse. I'm questioning my decision to live here. Now, 2 hours later, he's gone out to do an errand, which now we know he went out to like buy her a gift because he feels bad about the lipstick in the car. So she's cleaning the house. She says she has an addiction to cleaning. It's therapeutic for her. To which I say, go girl, come over to my
Also,
house.
go to real therapy because
Yeah.
that's what you really need. Not
So
this,
then,
it's like therapy. Go to a therapist.
well, she did that in Panama, remember? And we thought she seemed nice for about a day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So she said, but then I found things that make me think that the lip gloss is just the beginning. And we see an old napkin that says the name of a restaurant. It has D and a heart and a G on it. And then she finds a greeting card where the woman says, I love you, Gino. You turn me on in every possible way.
Who
And
wrote that?
I bet it was some sort of like joke shoebox by Hallmark card that was like, I love you so much, you turn me on in every way. And it's like, now fix the light bulb. And it shows a guy like turning on a light bulb.
Yeah.
It was something stupid like that.
Ah,
Don't you think?
yes. Or he
Like a,
asked one of those like sugar babies that he had that he was paying $300
yes,
a night to hang out with to write him
yes,
a note.
yes. To make him feel better about himself.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And she was like, huh, well, that woman was lucky because he's never done that for me. So then she finds a Kama Sutra book and she says, huh, look at all these positions. We've only practiced the one position. And here's lubricant. Okay, well, at least it's not opened. And then she says, and
I'm
he's
sorry,
never
she
tried.
peed on him. Is that not in the Kama Sutra? I know they tried more than one position. They have tried whips and chains, and she peed on him.
You are so right. You are
She's
so right.
full of it. But she had that line locked and loaded. I feel like she
Yeah.
practiced this scene. And she's like, this is going to be my quip when I find this. And this is
Yes.
going to be my quip when I find
Yes.
this.
Yeah, because she laid everything out on the table and she was
Yeah.
lifting items up one by one.
She really wants her own spin-off show.
Yeah, she does. And then she's like, and here's lubricant. Well, okay, at least that's not open. And then, well, he's never tried to learn Spanish to communicate with me, but now I see this notebook like he was interested in Spanish, but the only word he learned is perros, beaches. What the heck? What the heck?
It's like
That
one
is funny.
notebook with one word, 2 words. Perras equals
Bitches.
bitches.
So, so she says, this reaffirms I can't trust him. I can't trust Gino. And then she says, I've looked at his ex-wife's social media, and can you believe this? This is a picture of her dog. This is a picture of Coco. They look exactly alike. The dog's face is blurred.
I died. Did the dog not sign a release form?
The dog said, I'm going to sue Matt Sharp. Do not show my face. I do not consent.
That has to be a joke, right? Because, like, you can show dogs' faces, right?
I was dying. I was like,
I
they blurred
laughed
that dog's
so
face.
hard.
That dog was like, not today. Do not drag me into this mess. No, I had to
Also,
live with Gino.
what is she implying? Wait, did he get her Coco?
No,
Then what? She thinks he found a woman who has a similar dog?
I guess.
Like
Unless he bought her Coco and we're forgetting that, but I don't think so.
he met her and then was asking, what kind of dog do you have? Like, I need to see the photo because I'm looking for someone exactly like that one guy who, married a woman and then she left him, thank God. And then he
Yeah.
found a 19-year-old from that
Yeah.
same island
Uh-huh.
and bought her the same car. And yeah.
Yes. And then that guy sued TLC because said it made him look bad. Well,
He made himself look bad.
You're like 60 and you found a replacement for your wife who looked exactly like your wife looked when she was 19 when you married her the first time.
Yeah. And
he
you
was,
wouldn't let her
remember, he
put
was
her
like,
hand on the car window.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you made yourself look bad.
That girl, that guy, whatever I could picture his face, whatever his name was, his daughter is always on TikTok talking about what a horrible dad he is.
Oh,
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. So, all right. So then she looks at Coco and says, Coco, he's just trying to replace us. And then she does Coco's voice. No, mommy, we are special and he can't replace us. And you're way more beautiful than her. Thank you, Coco. Oh, Coco, I apologize for the drama. I'm going to send you to dog therapy.
I go to therapy yourself, Jasmine.
Oh my God.
Did you notice what is on the shelf behind her?
A photo of a child I saw.
It's Gino.
Oh,
I'm
wait, all
showing
right.
you a picture.
Yeah. Okay.
Is that not Gino?
You think that's Gino as a kid?
It's 100% Gino as a kid. It looks exactly like him, but with hair.
That is hilarious. That
What
is.
grown man in his 50s has a school photo of himself framed on the
Let's
shelf?
hope it's one of his nephews.
I
Let's hope
can't.
it's a
It
nephew.
looks exactly like him.
Well,
The photo is grainy because I had to take it and then zoom in, but
yeah.
I guarantee you that's him. I'm going to post it on your Facebook page.
All right. All right. I like that it's got the Mickey Mouse next to it to remind Jasmine that he never took her to Disney World.
Right.
Right.
And Legoland.
Legoland. So I think she should start going through the photos that are in frames and see if there's one hidden behind. Like, right? Like he just put one in front of it. Because maybe there was a picture of the ex-wife there and he was like, what can I put? What do I have that's a 5x7? Oh, look at cute Gino in 5th grade.
Uh-huh.
Put that there.
Good call.
So Gino comes in. He's like, hey, look what I got. I got you a gift. See what it is? It's some wooden steps for Coco. So Coco won't have to jump on the bed. And he goes, and look at this. I got Coco a hat. Okay. I was like, Coco can look just like Dad. Can wear a hat. Cute. Cute. And she stands there staring at him. She goes, oh, you're always such a giver. So generous and kind, aren't you? Sit down. So he sits down. She
I
shows him
love
all
when
the
she
stuff.
lures him in to a fake
Yeah.
sense of security with that
Mhm.
sickly sweet. You are just so kind. The best.
She wasn't trying to do that. He walked in and saw that shit on the table and was hoping to avoid it. So she shows him all the stuff. And it's like, why are you keeping all this stuff? He goes, I don't know, Jasmine. I just forgot to throw it out. I just, she goes, this wasn't hidden. It was just in the drawer in the bedroom, like in one of your drawers in the bedroom, in the back of a drawer where you keep old socks. It was not hidden at all. I had to go through all the drawers till I found it. So she shows him what looks like a Rosetta Stone box. And it was like, so why were you trying to learn Portuguese? He goes, well, you remember I was in Brazil for my job for 6 months. So I had to
Yeah.
learn it while I was there. And she
That
goes,
makes
then
sense.
why didn't you try to learn Spanish for my family? He was like, I learned the only word I needed to learn. So he was like, I was living in Brazil for work. I had to learn it for work. And then she goes, well, what about this napkin? He goes, I don't know. That was for my 40th birthday party. He goes, I'm not saving this stuff for anything. I just didn't go through my whole fucking house and find every fucking corner and look for everything from my past.
Okay,
She
I
holds
have
up
to make the best point that someone made online. He
Okay.
left a poop in the toilet when she was coming to live with him. You think he's going through his house, Jasmine, and cleaning out stuff from old chicks?
No. Mm-mm. No, he's not. He's not. And it reminds me of the couple that on Love is Blind when she went in the bathroom and he had all those like hair bands and stuff from girls that had slept over there. RIP, they didn't make it. So
Uh-oh.
he says,
Right.
no, no, just RIP to their love. So she goes, is this important to you? And holds up the napkin. He goes, no. So she rips it and she thought it was going to pack a bigger punch, but it's an old napkin. So she wasn't able to like really rip it like she could paper.
Yeah.
But she's just like, oh. And she rips it and throws it. And he goes, okay, I hope that was fun for you. And he goes, she's being too harsh on me. Like it's common for people to keep things. There's no reason for her to be pissed off. But this is typical. All right. So now she's going to meet with Michelle, Gino's sister-in-law. Now I'm glad these two are getting together because Michelle seems nice and normal at the bocce ball.
Yes.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Even though she wanted to go on a vacation to fucking Florida.
I do have questions as to why she would want a vacation in Florida. But other than that, she seems lovely.
They're in Michigan. So, of course, Florida seems appealing. Okay.
Yes.
So she says, also, more than one person reached out to say that shirt that Gino's brother had on that we were making fun of, like, because I'm an American and I'm going to wear this shirt to show you I'm an American.
Yeah, was it
Yeah.
Blue Lives Matter?
No, people said it was more of a, like a Harley Davidson thing.
Mm,
And they're like, more than likely he just thought it was cool because it was a flag and had a motorcycle.
okay, gotcha.
Or maybe he's a Harley Davidson rider. We don't know. Um, so
I
she's
think he's
joking
just a
around
fan.
of what?
Harley Davidson. I think he's like one of
Right.
those guys that just like, aren't they cool? And he like
Well, it's just
wants he like might wave at the bikers as they go by.
like when Joey bought all that Porsche stuff on Friends because he was like, "This is my Porsche. This is my Porsche," and he had like a
Exactly.
jacket, yeah,
Mhm.
everything because the car was parked out front and never moved, so he pretended it
Mhm.
was his. Yeah.
Yep.
So she says, Jasmine says she likes Michelle. She's not judgmental. So she jokes around, oh my gosh, I've been trying to clean this house. It's dusting, everything's so gross. But I've been organizing and I found these things. I'm not looking for them. They're just there. It's like love letters and old pictures. Like, why would he be saving that? And Michelle goes, I don't know. My husband saves stuff. I think that's just a thing people do. I don't think it means anything. And Jasmine says, I know I'm over the top with jealousy. I think I don't know. So Michelle goes, you should really just try to trust him and you should just accept the love and believe in it and everything. I know it's hard. And Michelle and Jasmine are like holding hands.
Yeah, at
And
the nail salon.
yeah. And Jasmine goes, now I feel bad because I was so hard on Gino about it. And in her talking head, Michelle goes, Jasmine did leave her whole life and her whole family. She doesn't feel secure. And she's found things in Gino's house. And look, he's not always like open with communication and stuff. He does need to make her feel safe. So that's true. So, Jasmine's like, I feel bad now. I feel bad. You're right. You're right. So Michelle goes, you know what we should do? We'll go and do like a girls' night. That's what we'll do. Because, like, you're going to get married. And like Gino had his bachelor party. And Jasmine goes, oh, I'd love to have a girls' night. I miss my friend so much. Now, wait a minute. What'd you say now? What'd you say? What?
The record
What?
scratch. That
What'd
was
you
a
say about
horrible record
bachelor?
scratch.
Um,
That was more
that's
like
so.
Scooby Doo.
Ravi? So, Jasmine says, now wait a minute, because now Gino said he wasn't going to have a bachelor party until I came in town so that I could organize it for him. Yeah, that's what every guy wants. He wants
Yeah.
their future wife to organize their bachelor party. And Michelle goes, no, he had it the day before you came. And she goes, what did they do? And she goes, well, I mean, they went out to a strip club. Of course, that's what they did. And Jasmine goes, well, so the strip clubs here, are they just like looking or is there touching? Can you be touching? And Michelle goes, I mean, it was a bachelor party, so I'm sure he got touched. Michelle is just like the
No big
opposite of
deal.
Jasmine. She's
Yeah,
like,
this
get
is what
over it,
people
girl.
do. Yeah, but Jasmine is like slowly the flames on the side of her face are building.
Yeah, she's like, really? Who went to this party? So in talking head, Jasmine goes, I was feeling bad about being so hard on Gino, but I should have trusted my original instinct. He's keeping secrets from me, and I'm trying to keep cool in front of Michelle, but I just can't wait to go home and just rip his head off, right?
I mean, does Gino
So,
have a death wish going to a strip club and keeping it a secret? I think he kind of likes being in trouble. And like, he's like a little bit like, I was a bad girl. I was a bad boy. Maybe spank me. I need a spanking, Like, that's their dynamic. Like, it's like the movie Secretary, and he gets turned on by it.
yeah, I don't know what his death wish is. I don't know. Um, and Jasmine says,
Or he's
oh,
just
Michelle.
stupid. Or he's just stupid.
Well, right. And Jasmine says, oh, he's in big trouble, Michelle. He's in big trouble. And Michelle's like, okay. Michelle has no idea. She's like, uh-oh.
Mm-hmm.
All right, now let's move on to Anali and Clayton.
Oh, boy. They are I'm semi interested in them so far.
Okay,
I'm
all
not
right.
bored of them yet. It's only like their second episode. So
Well, okay,
he,
that's good.
yeah, he's bummed that they didn't have sex on her first night. She wants to shower, which makes me tremendously concerned that she did not shower last night after traveling for a day and a half on
She
multiple
didn't.
planes.
No way she did. No way.
No, that's gross.
Mm-mm.
And he's like, okay, let me check that my mom's not in the bathroom. This is a nightmare.
So weird. Just listen through the wall. It's all connected.
Exactly. So she says, yeah, I did not want to have sex. They're paper thin walls, and I don't want the mom to hear. And no one blames you for that, girl. Like, that is a good instinct.
Yeah.
He should have gotten a hotel. This is
Yeah.
terrible. So then he takes her horseback riding, which is the last thing I would want to do if I am jet lagged and just in a new country. Let me go ride on a horse.
Also, I'm
So,
like, she just took a shower. Now she's got to take another one.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, and then they're driving there, and she worries that she looks like a grandma in her transition lenses. I was like, yes, another good instinct you have there.
Have you been listening to Pink Shade? Because we've been saying this for
Exactly.
years. Yeah.
So they go to the horseback place, and he's saying, you know, it's Kentucky and horseback riding, it's the horse capital of the world. And so it's in my blood. So I'm going to be great at this. And she's like, yeah, my grandparents have horses. So I've ridden them millions of times. I love when Americans think they're like showing someone something that they've never seen before. And they're like, yeah, I have a horse. Thanks. We have horses.
Just
So
because you're from Kentucky doesn't mean you're going to be good at
it's not
horseback
in your
riding.
blood.
Are you a
Yeah.
jockey? That doesn't make
Yeah.
any sense. Yeah.
So he was like, do I look macho on the horse? And he is like scared he's going to be kicked. And then the horse that he's on tries to step up on like the step thing
Yeah.
that you used to get on. I think he was bored of Clayton already. And he's like, get off. So she's like, do I look sexy and macho? And she's like, no comment. And that's the start of really realizing, I think, that she has no attraction to him whatsoever. And
Oh, you think
including in the
so?
preview for next week.
Yeah. Yeah.
If we add in what we see from the preview, I think she is not attracted to him in the slightest. So they're
Oh,
sitting on,
I don't think that's true because she wouldn't have been having sex with him in Peru, I
I
think.
hope it's not true,
Yeah.
but so far, maybe it's the jeans that he's wearing and his haircut.
Maybe it's
Make
like
it-
don't take somebody to do a sport that you've never done and think that you're going to look macho.
Right.
Right.
So they're sitting on a swing bench and it's very pretty. And he's like, let's talk about why you don't post about me on social media. Let's ruin this vibe. And she says, well, we got engaged after only 4 days, which is very fast. And I know my dad would freak out about that. So I didn't tell him. But then too much time passed and the lie became bigger than I could handle. And so I just told him I'm going to America for work. And then I'm going to pretend I just met this American guy. And then we just get married in 90 days. And then no one ever has to know.
And then what did she say? Didn't she say to him like, duh?
Duh.
She's like,
It's a perfect
yeah.
plan. What's wrong?
Yeah.
Well, they might
Yeah.
see it on TV.
They could see it on TV and he could get a translator to
Yeah.
figure out what you just said. Right.
So she gets annoyed and she doesn't want to talk about it anymore. Like, I don't want to talk about this. So the three musketeers, who are the three roommates, who are Clayton and Anali and the mom. What's the mom's name?
I can't remember her
I
name.
don't remember.
I'm
So
very
they-
upset about her teeth. I'm very upset
know.
about her teeth.
I know. So she's wearing a very cute top, though, in this scene.
Yeah.
Like, she's really putting herself together. So they go to meet his sister, Brandy. And she tells Anali, Brandy can be very nice or the opposite. And the mom chimes in. She's just extremely overprotective of Clayton in, like, a weird way. And
There must be another brother because it was like she's the only sister.
she's the only
She's
sister.
protective
Yeah.
over her brothers.
Here's
There
what
must
I
be
think
another brother.
happened. I think the mom perhaps has some drug issues in the past.
Okay.
And that usually leaves the kids to themselves. And the oldest child becomes the caretaker of the younger
Right.
children. So
Uh-huh.
I think that from that trauma has spawned Brandy, who is a monster and is terrifying and mean and xenophobic and doesn't want anyone to be with her brother Clayton.
Yeah. Well, we need to know, are there 3 more brothers? Is there 1 more brother?
Has she
And,
done this with all of them or just Clayton?
Yeah, just
Yeah.
Clayton, right.
So they're going bourbon tasting because bourbon and horses are what Kentucky is known for. So he's basically just like, our 2 things, we're doing them in the first 2 days you're here.
That's it. I
And
hope
then
you
that's
enjoyed
it.
them. Welcome to your new life. We did everything in the first day.
There
It's
has to be
nothing of a
more in
downhill from
Kentucky.
there.
There has to be more. So
University of Kentucky basketball is really good.
okay.
There's that. Okay.
They can go to another state nearby.
Yeah.
They get to go to Dollywood or something.
I don't think Dollywood is anywhere near Kentucky.
I don't know the map.
Okay.
So I don't
It's in
know
Pigeon
geography.
Forge. I know that much. It's in Tennessee. It's not too far from
Katie drives
Memphis.
to Kentucky all the time from Tennessee. So I think
She's in
it's,
Nashville, so
I don't know. They
okay, we
look
don't
like
know.
narrow states to me compared to my state.
There is
So,
absolutely no reason at all I should be talking about any kind of geography, pretending that I know anything, because I am absolutely the worst. So, yes, I am sure that Kentucky and Nashville are very close together, and they should go there.
but you
Yep.
know what? He didn't even get a hotel room for their very first night together. So he's
I
not
know.
taking her out of state. What am I talking about?
Yeah, I know. I know.
So also, Brandy likes to drink. So he's hoping she'll get really excited about the bourbon and not
Uh
be a
huh.
total bitch to Anali, but that fails. So
Yeah.
Brandy and Anali hug, and it's like a cold hug. It's like not a warm hug. I don't know how to describe it, but it's like it's just if it oozed coldness. Brandy is
It's like a
cold.
pat, 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 pat.
Yeah.
It's a little,
And
yeah.
it seems they're just sitting there, and Clayton says, "I did." Anali says she seems nice. She's very pretty. I'm. Clayton told me she's very jealous of his girlfriends, so I'm concerned. And I was like, "Is jealous the word that he said? Because that's
I
not
hope
a
that's not the
good.
word he said. I hope that's
That's
just a language miscommunication there.
Right. That's a strange dynamic. So he's translating because Anali does not speak very much English. And Brandy asks, how does she like living with our mom? And Anali says, oh, well, it's been a big change. You know, I left my family. And mom leans over and gives Anali a hug. And it was so cute. And she's
Yeah.
like, yeah, it's been a big change. And like, the mom is really trying.
I think
She's a
mom's like,
hoarder.
please, please don't make me go live with Brandy. She's so mean.
Exactly. Brandy terrifies me. And then so they're like hugging, and Brandy goes, cute.
All right, Brandy.
Calm down, Brandy. So
Yeah.
Brandy is like, you know, Clayton, why didn't you tell me much about Anali? Is it because I'm a little bitchy towards your girlfriends? And he goes, yeah, I didn't tell you about Anali because basically you're bitchy towards my girlfriends. So that's why I kept it a secret. And Brandy says, why doesn't she post about you on social media? And he says, well, her dad is really, really overprotective. And she says, so is mom, and she knows about it. And I'm like, it's not at all the same thing because he is
Mm-mm.
still living in his home in his country. And
Yeah.
they're worried the dad will be worried because she came to America by herself. And
Right.
Brandy says, well, his last girlfriend cheated on him, so I'm very protective. And Brandy says out loud what she was thinking, which is she just here for a green card? Which is so
Mm.
rude.
Yep.
And Clayton translates that to Anali, which I guess be honest, but
Yeah.
maybe I don't know. And she says, I left my family and everything. This has been really hard. And Clayton says, we've been together for 2.5 years. I don't think she could fake that for 2.5 years. And Brandy says, people do it all the time. And she's like
Yeah.
glaring at Anali.
She's like, I do. Why not? Of course she could. Why not? Look at her. Ugh, look at her transition lenses. Gross.
And then she
She's being
just
so
goes,
mean.
well, this has been fun. And he goes, have you had enough to drink? And she says, no. And then she just goes, I'm over it. Get married. Whatever. I don't care. And she just gets up and storms off crying. What
Yeah,
is
there's something
happening?
else. There is something else to this story. There has to be. Maybe she's like, oh my God, he's going to marry this girl and mom's going to have to move in with me. Like maybe it really has a lot to do with who's going to take mom.
Who's going to. It's so weird. I don't understand this dynamic, and it is concerning. It's very concerning. And then she says outside, she says, I don't care if I'm being bitchy. I'm being overprotective. He's missing the red flags, and I'm going to keep telling him, even if he gets mad at me. And yeah,
Yeah,
there's a lot
something
of
else is
trauma
happening
here.
here. Yeah, I mean, Clayton must have had some doozies of girlfriends that like used and abused the whole family or something. There has to be something there for her to be so like openly hostile to anybody that he's with, that Clayton's with.
Yeah,
It's weird. It's weird. It's really weird.
that should have nothing to do with Anali.
Mm-mm. Nope. Nope. She's just sitting there trying to sip on her bourbon. She's like, I don't even like bourbon or horses. Oh my God.
Is this all they have in this state?
Yeah. Yeah. Is he going to be on those 3 monitors every night talking to his friend while I'm trying to
Yes,
go to
he
sleep?
is.
Yeah.
Yes, he is.
I can only stay in this one room of this apartment. What if Clayton moved to Peru to move in with her to marry her like 90 Day the other way, but her dad was living in the closet? That'd be weird.
He works in like cybersecurity. I feel like he could work from anywhere. So,
Yeah.
and he
Yeah.
speaks Spanish already.
Yeah, he does. I love that. I love on the show when the people speak the language. It's so nice.
It's so nice.
All right, well, let's move on to 2 people that speak each other's language of love, and that's Sophie and Robert. They both
Yeah.
speak American. Okay, so you guys, I know that it's not called American. I know it's called English. I was just kidding. So she's at her amazing $5,000 a month rental. That's what we decided it would be last month. Last
When I saw that
episode.
door, that wooden
Yeah.
door with the glass paneling, I was like, "Oh yeah, for sure." I was right. That could be more than 5,000.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. It's gorgeous. So she gets a text. He's like, whoop. They do the thing with the texting, Rob text that he misses her. And so she tells him, he can come over and talk. That's fine. So the producer asks, how are you feeling? And she goes, I don't know. I mean, it's still Rob. And if he wants to talk, he could come over and talk in person because I'm not going over there. And producer goes, why not? And she goes, because it's gross.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would have been like, if you want us to get back together, we have to move into this place. Get your shit and bring it over here. This is where I'm the captain now, and this is where we live.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You have the upper hand now, honey. You better use it.
You don't have to go back to that with the outhouse. You don't.
No.
You don't. So Rob arrives with 1 rose that he definitely clipped out of somebody's garden.
1,000%.
He sits down and she goes, why are you sitting so close to me? He goes, oh, sorry. So he moves over and he says, how are you feeling? And she says, well, having a night away from you in this home that I'm not afraid to walk the dog in helped. And I was able to get up in the middle of the night and use the loo without having to put on my shoes.
Uh-huh.
So that's a bonus.
Being inside has
better.
been a real step up to my lifestyle. So,
and he says, listen, what I need you to understand that to me, like what you saw, like to me, what that is, that's just like bullshit online stuff. Like it's like junk mail to me. It's like nothing. And it's like all the emails that you get about Black Friday. You just delete, 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 delete. That's what it is to me. It's just like junk mail.
Him masturbating and sending videos of himself doing it, because I think that's what happened.
Yeah, I think he got one and then he sent one back. Yeah.
And that she was doing stuff. That's the same as Bed Bath & Beyond spam.
Right. Yeah.
Me?
It's
also,
just junk mail.
Maybe it is to you, and that's really messed up that is to you. That says a lot about porn and all of that. But it doesn't. That's not what it means to her. And she's told you this many times.
She was like, well, you did it before and you knew that it hurt me and you knew that I would leave you if you did it again, but you did it again. And I'm not going to be able to erase those messages and videos that I saw. I can't erase them from my mind. Now I'm stuck here and I can't leave and I have no family and no friends. It's like you fucked me over and now what do I do? All I want from you is the one thing and it's loyalty. So he says, the person I've been since you touched down in LA is 1,000,000% loyal. Well, the person I have been since you touched down in LA is 1,000,000% loyal. It's been 3 days?
Yeah. Seriously?
What? That's what he's coming up with?
You're supposed to be as loyal even when they're not there. Does that mean when she goes back home for a visit, you're going to cheat again and be like, I'm only loyal when you're on United States soil.
When we are within a 15-mile radius of one another,
Yeah.
then I will be loyal. Otherwise, what is a guy supposed to do? He gets
Mhm.
junk mail. He looks at it. You know what I'm saying? Oh my God. And he goes, ever since you've been here, I've been 1,000,000% loyal, and being in love with somebody in another country is really hard. But like, if you were here all the time, it would be easier. But I'm not trying to talk to anybody else or be with anybody else. Like, I just want to be with you. So he's completely 100% making excuses.
He's
Like, it's the long
gaslighting. He's
distance.
blaming her
Yes. Yes.
for being British.
Right.
How about all the other couples that do it on the show and they don't cheat?
Right. Or they don't leave it on their phone and get caught.
Yeah.
So she says, and it works, because she's like, I'm not accusing you of being a cheater, not like a real life cheater or anything. And I'm like, that's great for you that you're not a real life cheater, just an online cheater. But
Would
this
you
hurt me.
want a medal or
This hurt
something?
me.
Yeah.
I mean,
He's not even nice when he's apologizing. He's so mean. He's like, have I not said I'm sorry? I'm saying I'm sorry. Why won't you accept that I'm sorry? And like, what about that wasn't genuine that I said I'm sorry? Well, it wasn't genuine because you did it again after you did it the first time, and you're yelling at her as you're saying I'm sorry.
she was like, you haven't apologized to me. Genuinely, you haven't. And he goes, look, I know you're hurt. And if you're hurt, I'm sorry. This is a housewife's apology.
Oh
If
my God.
I hurt you, I'm sorry. If your feelings were hurt, I'm sorry. So he says, I know you're hurt, and I know that, so I'm sorry for that. Like, I'm sorry you're hurt. Not, I'm sorry I hurt you. He's saying, I am sorry that you got hurt for just this other thing that happened beyond my control. And he goes, all I know is what I can do, and I'll just not do that again. But you got to give me the chance to make it up to you, because
But you did it
I'm
for
sorry.
a second time.
I
All you
know.
have to do is do it. That's all you had to do the first time, was not do it again.
Right.
And you can do it.
Or just not get caught, even.
Where's
She
your
would have never
sister?
known.
Bring in the sister who will bitch slap him.
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't like that
Yeah.
expression. Will
Yeah, I
slap
don't.
him and kick
Yeah.
his ass, because I know the sister and where's his mom did not raise him to act like this.
Right.
He is so disrespectful to women.
He's just so like, this sounds like a you problem.
Yeah, exactly.
So, and she says, he's like, give me a chance to make it up to you, because, I am sorry. Ugh.
Ugh.
And she goes, well, she tells us, she was like, I have no choice but to forgive him, really. And I have 90 days to get over it. And she goes, I've got to have to figure out a way to trust you again, but it's going to be this toxic thing, because now I always have to check your phone. And that's like, I don't want to live like that.
No.
So now they're doing this talking head together. And she goes, the first time he online cheated, it took a year for me to get over it. But now we don't have a year. We only have 90 days. And if I would have known about this when I was in England, I would not have come to the US. And he goes, listen, I've been slow in the process of transitioning from being single for years, and I haven't made all the right decisions, and I've slipped up here and there, and like, it was wrong, but it was wrong. Yeah, okay, I understand that, but it could have been a lot worse. I mean, it could have been a lot worse. So I'll never be that wrong again. This is your apology. Your apology is, I've had a hard time transitioning from being single, and I didn't make all the right decisions, and it was wrong, but it could have been worse. It could have been worse. Be grateful. Be grateful it wasn't me, banging 2 chicks at once that you saw. Come on now. It could have been worse.
And you won't do it again, even though you've already done it again.
Right. His apology sucks. It sucks.
He cannot do it. He cannot be humble.
He says, my first step.
Torai.
Oh,
We need
well.
him.
Somebody said Tarai was on another reality show.
Oh, really?
Like X on the Beach or something like that.
Oh, interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So he's like, the first step is, like, I brought you a rose. I know you like those. So like, here you go.
Oh my God,
like,
I cannot with that bragging
here it
that
is.
you stole a rose from a neighbor and it's her favorite color of rose when there's only a few colors. Like, I got your favorite one. I didn't bring a yellow one because I know you like the red roses.
Because my neighbors only had the red, okay?
Yeah, exactly.
He goes, I brought you that rose, and I'm going to try every day to be better, okay? And his talking head, he goes, Sophie is considering not crucifying me for this and giving me another chance. So I got hope. And, I'm just begging and hoping and praying we'll get on back on track. Like it's out of his control. Oh my God, I hate this guy. And it makes me so
I
sad
hate
because he's so
him.
good looking, but I hate him.
He's so cute, but he's so ugly inside. It's
That's right. He's
horrible.
rotten on the inside. Let's talk about Manuel and Ashley.
Oh boy. Okay, so they're
Mm.
still at therapy. This is one of those scenes where we are exactly where we left off. And she's saying she feels separate from him and his family, and she's like a secret, and he's yawning like Mary Payne does sometimes, and it makes you
Oh my
feel like
God, I have yawned
she's
so much
not.
in this episode, and I'm so sorry. I have no idea. I'm just tired. I'm just tired. I'm a tired person. I'm sorry.
But you're not doing it in the way he's doing it, which is to show how bored he is with this therapy session.
Look at the therapist and just open your mouth as wide as possible. He may as well have done like a Three Little Bears, like
Exactly. So she says, "Listen, I haven't met his children yet, and we're getting married." And this is where the therapist sets aside all impartialness, and she's like, "Why hasn't she met your children? You're
right.
getting married."
Yeah.
And he's like, "I don't know, maybe eventually." And she's like, "That's why is what?" And she
Right.
says, "Why haven't I met them? It makes me feel like a shady side lady, and they probably think I'm taking their dad away. And I just,
Right.
And he says, "Listen, I'm worried she won't understand the way the kids talk." Which is they speak in Spanish and so does she, but she won't
Uh-huh.
understand what their young hip lingo.
Right.
And
Right.
he says, "Well, they're only 12 and 14 and I have to protect them. I'm their dad and she's very scary sometimes. She's like a matchstick. You scratch her head and she fires up." And
I liked that
I liked that.
imagery.
Yeah. And so he says, "I gotta protect them from her. Like, I don't know how she'll act with them." You think she's gonna act with these children the way she yells at you when you're being a dumbass? She's not, and you're not even giving her a chance.
I
Have you
know.
ever seen her act? Does she yell at? Also, why do you want to marry her if you're afraid she might scream at your children?
Yeah, I don't understand any of this. I mean, when he said that about she has got this quick temper, but I mean, I think they've been together off and on like 10 years.
Yeah,
Like they were together for a few years, engaged, and then apart for a few. So this to me is just a guy that wants to get to the US, and that makes me sad. But now that we know he's got this family that's trying to get in touch with him, yeah, I don't know. It doesn't look good for these two, in my
it
opinion.
doesn't. And she says she feels isolated from his family and he doesn't share things with me. Like last night, I found out he needs to send $200 to his family and he doesn't work. So it's like, am I sending them $200? And what else is he keeping from me? And he says, "You freak out over the littlest stuff. So I don't tell you the big stuff." So it's this horrible cycle of her overreacting because he's not telling her stuff. And then he doesn't tell her stuff because she overreacts.
Yeah, right.
And so the therapist says, "Listen, Ashley, you're going to work on not being so reactionary." And he is a Latin man and doesn't want a woman all up in his business. And he needs to work on that because the two of them are like oil and water and they don't mix.
Well,
And
he said my private life is private, and she's like, I don't understand. Like, I am your
we're
private
getting
life.
married.
Yeah, yeah. It's interesting.
Your personal life is me.
Yeah,
So what are you talking about? And so they promise to it ends nicely and they promise to work on it. But then afterwards they go to lunch and he's like, "That therapist was a clown. I don't need a therapist. I don't need therapy. There's nothing wrong with me. And you gringos, you think therapy can fix things? We're adults. We can find solutions for our own minds. This is a waste of time." And he's totally mocking it. And she's like, "You are a grumpy kitty. You are such a grumpy kitty." She
he
talks to
doesn't
him like he's
understand
a kid.
English, so yeah. I mean,
Yeah. She's talking in English and he's like, "Talk in Spanish to me, please." And she
yeah.
says, "You're at a 12 and I need you at a 2. I think you need a nap. You need it's nappy time for you. Come on." And like he's a 5-year-old and
But she said, "I
he's
can't wait to get you home and put you in the bed and get you relaxed." I was like, "Oh, she's just gonna bang it out of him, is what she's gonna do."
there we
Yeah,
go. And
yeah.
he says, "You stress me out. You're the one who stresses me out. I need you to stop talking." And she's like, "You are not speaking to me respectfully." she's not really speaking to him respectfully either.
Yeah,
But
I didn't understand this jump where she's like, "You're being so disrespectful in this restaurant." I was like,
she's
"You're
like,
both
"You're
being
acting
disrespectful."
crazy in the
Yeah.
middle of this restaurant." He's not raising his voice. No one
Yeah.
is looking at them. It's not He's not acting crazy, but they're both acting disrespectfully towards each other, and he started it for sure, being a jerk
Yeah.
about the therapist. So he's like, "If you want to go to therapy, go." And she says, "So my opinion in this matter means nothing to you." And he says, "No." And she's like, "Okay, that's where we are, I guess." And then she's like pondering, did I make the right decision? We've been fighting so much in the first 30 days. Like, why am I doing this? But we fought so hard to get him here. I can't give up now. And she's like, "Stop talking." And she's like, "I'm tired of your mouth. You need to stop talking." And they just hate each other. And he's like, "I'm walking home." And it's very dramatic. And he's going to walk home. So I'm sick of them. They should not be together. They're
No.
just not meant. They're just their personalities do not mesh.
No,
And
they don't.
how long can they bang it out for and make everything better? Can
Yeah,
they have
eventually they'll
makeup
get
sex
tired
for
of
the
that.
rest of their lives?
Yeah, eventually they'll get tired of that. Yeah. Yeah.
One of them might like hurt their hip or something when they get older and they won't be able to have sex for a while, and then it'll be like we actually hate each other now.
Yeah, they should go ahead and figure that out now. Yeah, I think that once he gets the internet on his phone or whatever and is
Mhm.
able to come up with his escape plan,
Mhm.
yeah, he's gonna go find his cousin. And but she's in Rochester, New York, and didn't she say he has relatives in New York City?
Yeah.
So I
It
don't know
couldn't
how far Rochester is from New York City, but I imagine
again the
it's a bus ride.
I'm sure there's a bus or a train that he could take for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. It could be 1 hour away or it could be 7 hours away. We don't
Exactly.
know.
We literally have no idea, and people are going to tell us.
That's right. And then they're gonna tell us what's great about Kentucky.
I'm sure there's lots of things. It looked very pretty.
My good friend is from several good friends that are from Kentucky, and my husband and my son are actually going in a couple of weeks to a University of Kentucky men's basketball game in Kentucky because they love Kentucky basketball.
There you go.
I'm not anti-Kentucky. I'm for it.
Oh, I'm not at
Okay.
all.
All right, let's go to a place that's very close to Kentucky, just Arkansas. It's not no. So Nick and Devin. Okay, so he says now that we got approval from my parents, I planned a day in Seoul for Devin. So I was like, is that it? That one dinner? That's it? That was the approval from the parents. We're never going to see him again. That's
This is
wild.
a strange family. Like, if I was in the same city with them for once in 10 years, we would be
Yeah,
spending a ton of time together. But in his family, it's like, well, we had our dinner and that's it. But maybe the show only needed one scene of them together. So
right.
the show is like, okay, move on.
Maybe they're going to spend lots of time with them. I don't know, but maybe we'll find out at the tell-all. So he says he's planned this day in Seoul for Devin. So they go to this shop that has all these traditional clothes. I have to assume they're renting these clothes because they walk right out of the shop in them.
It did seem like when Christian and Cleo did sort of like a role play dress up shop type thing.
That was they just stood around, put on different outfits, and Christian
Yeah.
tried to do accents,
Yeah.
like me. So they put on he says it'll be nice since we're engaged. It'll be nice to have a photo in these traditional costumes. They're called hanbok, and they're looking at one. He goes, "Oh, this one's nice." He goes, "Oh, never mind. That's for a prostitute." She's like, "What?"
Oh my
And I
god.
looked at it on second viewing, and I was like, "I wonder why that one is for a prostitute." It was like white. It had like beautiful red flowers on it. I was like, "I wonder why
Is it
that
like
one."
a geisha? Does he mean a geisha would wear that?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe he was like, if it has the red flowers, that means you're a prostitute. I don't know. But she puts on a gorgeous handbag. It's a white top. It wraps around in this gorgeous, huge pink skirt. It's breathtakingly beautiful, really. It really is.
Absolutely.
And she comes out and she's like, I like this one. I like this one. And he goes, wow, you look amazing. You look like a Korean angel. So then he puts on his traditional hanbok and she's like, oh, wow, you look so cute. And he's like, this is how you have to walk. He's like a swagger like back in the day. It's fun. So they go to this park that used to be a fortress. It's beautiful. All the scenery and everything, gorgeous. gorgeous. And they have like a selfie stick. And I was like, the selfie stick is not going to do these outfits any justice.
No, I mean, the pictures look cute, but they should have had someone come with them.
Well, one assumes they're just going to hand their phone to a cameraman and be like, take a full picture of us in
Yeah.
this without these coats on because it's obviously cold there. And he says, I wanted to propose to her because when we got engaged before just to apply for the K-1 visa, it wasn't special. It was like papers. So, but I've got like, my, the ring is like on my inside pants and I'm having to like fumble around. It's chaotic. So he finally gets on one knee and proposes. And I think they're really cute. And she's like, oh my gosh, okay,
They're
sure.
so cute.
I
They're
think they're
too
really
cute
cute.
for the show. It's like, where's the drama? Does she have like a sex slave hidden at home in her basement? Because if there's no secret here, neither of them seems to be keeping a secret, which that's a must
No,
for this show. It's like when the show used to have nice people on it.
I know. But definitely there's a secret. When she gets home, there's a secret. There's a secret boyfriend. There's a something. Something.
'Cause right
There's going
now
to be a secret.
they're just adorable.
They're really sweet. And the town or the village that they're in where he proposes, when they show all the shots of it, I was like, where is this magical place? It is gorgeous. It was
Gorgeous.
gorgeous. So he says, I can't wait to go to the United States. I can't wait to actually get married. Um, and that's it for those two crazy kids. Now we're going to move to Justin and Nikki.
Oh
And this is where
boy.
we end with these two. And
Oh my god, so much
boy,
drama.
it's not good. Yeah.
So they're going clothes shopping for conservative clothes for when she meets his parents because they accept that she's trans, but they can't deal with the skank. So he's like, she can't be a hoochie, but she can be trans. It's fine.
But
So
his mom met her all those years ago. So
yeah.
I wonder,
And I'm
did she
sure she
dress like a
was,
hoochie back then? I mean, I think
well,
so.
she's had some enhancements since then.
Right.
And
Uh-huh.
her figure, he says she has a cartoon figure, which is what we've been saying since day
Yes.
one. And
Yes.
he's like, big boots. And the producer's like, boobs. And he's like, boots. And she's like, the producer's like, boobs, big boobs.
That was
So
funny.
that
He's
was
like,
funny.
boots go on your feet.
Yeah.
Boobs are up top. And
Yeah.
he was like, boobs, 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 boobs. Yeah.
So she's like, she hates everything because it's all so plain. And then she tries on this skin tight, hot pink suit with her sheer top on. And she's like, this works. But he's like, no. And so they're arguing, and she's like, they should just take me or leave me. But she also wants to try to tone it down a little bit. She wants to try to be respectful. So
She says, I'm trying to be respectful of his culture and I'm trying to actually listen to him. And this is important. So I was like, okay,
yeah.
1 point for Nikki. That's good.
Yeah. So she says, I have a dress at home that'll work. So she's getting dressed and she's curling her hair because she brought her curling iron and that heat glove thing that people use.
Yeah. I guess she's using that because she's going to like touch the hot
Yeah.
barrel, which
That's how
probably
much,
is
like, I don't bring anything with me because I'm not going to do anything to my hair. Like,
well, I was
so
just
she's,
impressed. And I was also impressed with her corset and her
yeah, that's why
shapewear.
she
And
did have like 3 suitcases.
yeah, I was
And
impressed with that shapewear because I was like, wow.
oh yeah, she's like
Yeah.
Scarlett O'Hara waist.
Yes,
So
tiny.
he's like practicing English on an app that he's been learning, which is very cute. And he's
Mm-hmm.
been using it for over 800 days. I guess it shows like how many days in a row he's been using it. That's
Oh, yeah.
incredible.
Yeah.
That's good for him because we have
Yeah.
Babbel as a sponsor and I use
Mm-hmm.
it so sporadically. Like I need to use it a lot more
Yeah.
because it's really fun. But like I need to use it every day and not just
Right.
like a few times a week. So
I was doing Duolingo, which
yeah,
is similar, and it will tell you like, "Yay, you're on day 3. We're going to do 5 minutes." And I would do it at dinner and I'd be like, "Je ne sais quoi, merci beaucoup."
I love
And
that.
je m'appelle, and I was doing that at the table, and then everybody got real tired of that.
Yeah.
So then Duolingo started sending me like, "Where are you?
Yeah.
Where have you been? We miss you.
Come
You're
back to
not going to
us.
learn French this way."
So put down your turn off 90-Day Fiance for 1
That's
second and
right.
come back
That's
to
right.
us. So
Spoiler alert, I don't know any French. There we
yeah.
go.
So she's like, "Wow, you're using that. That's great. Have you learned the word horny?" Because she turns everything into sex.
Everything is a sex conversation. It
It
drives me
gets really
it gets
old.
really old. It really does. Yeah. Yeah.
And he is like, no, what does that mean? And it's okay, it's sex. He says, well, I want to learn English because sometimes she yells at me and I don't know what insults she's using. So basically, I've dedicated 800 days of my life to this so that I can learn when she's calling me a bastard. So she,
You know what? That would have actually been good for is remember when on 90 Day the Other Way, TJ and Kimberly got in that big fight the first day she was there because she called him a
yes,
dick. And he's
yes,
coming downstairs like, you know what's a dick dick? He said dick like 100 times.
yeah,
And so he really was like, she's actually literally calling me like a man's genitalia. And she's like,
yeah.
it's just a term like asshole. It doesn't literally mean like anus. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That would have been helpful
Mm-hmm.
in that instance. Yeah.
So Nikki puts on a very nice dress, and I thought it was very pretty, and
She'll
she looks great. And she says, "I'm trying to dress sexy conservative, sort
mhm.
of like a Republican politician lady." Like,
Oh, okay. Like it like if I whip off my glasses and let my hair
yeah,
down,
exactly,
it could be
exactly.
like
I'm
hot for
not going to
teacher,
name
the Van
anybody,
Halen,
but y'all know
Van
who I
Halen
mean.
video.
Yeah. Um, and she has like a gun, like a huge rifle in her Christmas card photo, but it's sexy. Um, so she
Stop.
So it's hard for her to hide the sexy though, just with her figure, I think. Like
Yeah, and
that
then her
fit
makeup and her hair and everything. I mean, she is just sexy. Yeah, okay,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, even if she had no makeup on, her face is still like primed and looks like a Barbie doll, and then her long
Yes.
flowing blonde hair, and then
Yes.
her
Yes.
waist and her butt is so large for her frame. It's impossible to hide. So
Yes.
he says, "You look great. You look more like a regular woman in my city."
Yeah.
And I didn't like that. I think,
Yeah.
and so I don't think he means like a normal woman. I think he means like like a woman in Moldova walking
Moldova.
around.
Yeah. I mean, you saw that lady in the shop was in like a turtleneck with a flannel over it.
Right.
Yeah.
So he's like, "You even have less makeup too. Good. I like that." And so they're
Mm.
driving and she's getting upset for what he said. And she's like, even if I'm all dressed up, I'm still a regular woman. Like, I'm me and I'm a woman. So hence I am a regular woman,
Right.
and this is me. And maybe I'm not for you because you seem to constantly want to change me. And maybe I'm just not your cup of tea. And it is what it is. I just don't feel like you're sexually attracted to me. Maybe you're asexual. I don't know what it is. And she's getting really fired up and they're on the drive to the parents' house. And
Yeah.
he's like, why are we fighting about this? Don't. And also, they've had sex many, many, many times. So I don't think
Yeah.
he's asexual.
Yeah.
Also, I don't think it's okay to just like accuse someone of being asexual. But it
I,
seems
I think people that's a go-to. It was like, oh, you don't want to have sex with me? Well, then you must be asexual because look at this. Yeah.
look at me. So
Yeah.
she says, for example, this morning, I was just touching your chest. I was not trying to turn you on. I was not trying to have sex, anything. And I guess he got up to go make coffee. Like he got
Yeah.
annoyed with her.
Yeah.
And he says, well, your touches are so wild. Like you tried to eat me. I'm scared of you sometimes. And this is like, he said this before, like she's like a hunter with a prey or a lion or something. And she's like, gonna, that's because her face is so feline. But
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
he feels like she's going to devour him. It's too much, her sexual appetite.
What did you think? Here's what I was imagining. They're just like laying in bed talking, and she has her hand on his chest. But what was she doing? Because she said, I was just touching your chest. I wasn't doing anything. She wasn't like, what was she doing that he's like, you were like a wild animal trying to devour me? Like, what was she like clawing with her nail? Like, what was she doing?
Was her hand going down south or was she saying dirty stuff? Like,
Or maybe she was just like stroking with her fingernails, and he was like,
right.
this is too much for me. I got to get up. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So she says, fine, you can't handle me. We're not right for each other. And he says, well, all you do is yell about sex all day. I can't deal with it. And that is true. That from what
Yeah.
we've seen in the
Yeah.
few days she's been there, that has been true.
Yeah.
It's very important to her. So she needs to be with someone maybe that it's equally important to. So, and maybe it used to be before he got this hang up on the trans thing.
Because he didn't
So
know before, but now he does. Yeah.
yeah. And so they're still on the drive on this beautiful road. And they're just going back and forth and she thinks he's gaslighting me. and
Mhm.
he's saying things to put me down. Like, he's always criticizing me. It's like he's negging me and trying to get my self-esteem low. And she's like, I feel so self-conscious. And she says, I've been this way always about sex. I've never changed. And he says, yes, you've always been a hungry woman from America. And she says, I'm passionate. You're cold. You need a simple girl. I will never be a simple girl. And
Yeah.
that's valid. That's true.
That's very true. It's very true.
She's complicated, and
Yeah.
he is maybe doesn't want that.
Mhm.
So he says, you need what? Robot fucking every time? Can I say the F word? I just said
You just did. I can't believe it. Everybody, take note.
it.
Tuesday, November 21st on the Pink Shade Podcast, Kimberly said the F word.
So I think that's what he's saying. They're bleeping it out.
Yeah.
Robot effing. And
Yeah.
so he's like, what do you need? And she's like, what? Robot effing? And he's like, a robot that F's 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. That's what you need. And she says, don't push me. You're pushing me too much. I'm changing my whole life. I give you so much more than you give me money. And you only think about what you've given to me. So then he brings money into it. And
Yeah.
he's like, she thinks because she's given me money that she's dedicated the most to this relationship. But I told my family that she's trans. And again, I was like, what do you want a medal for that? Like
I
that
mean,
now you're
yeah.
done in the relationship because you've done the hardest thing ever. So
Yeah.
you're done now. You don't have to try. So
I didn't get this part. Yeah.
yeah. So then he makes a joke that he is going to eject her through the sunroof of the car as they're driving.
Where's the
Or
eject
eject
button?
himself. He's like, couldn't tell who he wanted to eject.
Her. He wanted to eject her from
Okay.
eject out the sunroof. Yeah.
I couldn't tell if it was that or if it was like save me, eject, go gadget ejection. I need to get out of this conversation. So
okay.
she gets pissed because she's like, you always make jokes about everything when we're trying to have a serious conversation. And he says, you only survive with jokes here. And I laughed so hard. It was like he was in like a Die Hard movie or something, but like a
Right.
post-apocalyptic Die Hard, and it takes place in Moldova. And the
Yeah.
hero, Jason Statham, goes, you can only survive with jokes here.
Meanwhile, this guy is wearing like Ray-Bans, a turtleneck, a leather jacket, driving a BMW. And he's like, you can only survive this. Yeah, I mean, this is so terrible here. Look at this horrible life I have.
He looks like he's going to the yacht club for a regatta. He is regatta headed, and he is like, you only survive with jokes here.
These mean streets of Moldova and my BMW. You better watch
They've gone
out.
to the most beautiful park I've ever seen. They've gone to the classiest restaurant I've ever seen. But you only survive with jokes.
He's got
here.
a very nice apartment, so come on now.
He wears a sweater tied around his shoulders. Okay.
Yeah, he does. That's right.
Okay. So
So
I'm going to start saying that, though. You only survive with jokes here.
yeah.
So she wonders, why is he with me if he has so many complaints about me? Now, that's 100% valid. I would say she also has many complaints about him. And I would wonder why she is with him as well.
Her only complaints about him are that he won't have as much sex as she wants.
Yeah. And he doesn't show as much affection as she wants. Yeah.
Right.
So she now, but the money too, I think, is like maybe an issue.
I think she didn't complain about the money until
he started not having sex with her.
Yeah, right.
So she says, I feel empty inside. And I was like, honey, we could have all told you that just by the amount of surgeries you've had. You have a problem and you need therapy. And because the surgeries are not going to fix what is you feeling empty inside.
Yeah, poor thing.
Poor thing. Yeah. They need to break up because it is very bad for her self-esteem, which is already very low. And he needs a simple Moldovan girl.
I agree. Maybe Andre has a sister.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Also, Andre was on Pillow Talk saying that is not the way they dress in Moldova. People in Moldova dress better than they do in America. They dress like New York City, like really hip. So he's like, that little shop is like one of those, like when you'd go to like the fabric market, and it's like it's not hip. There's way hipper people there. And
Yeah.
so he's like, what are his parents like? His parents must be so conservative because all the young people in Moldova dress like sexy and hip and stuff.
Well, he dresses sexy and hip.
Yeah, exactly.
It's his own hang up about her
He
being
has
trans. And he didn't have that hang up before when he didn't know,
he
you
is
know?
if he hasn't gotten over it now, yeah, I don't think he's getting over it. So it's not fair to her. Breakup.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. So next time on 90 Day Fiance, Nick and Devin land in Memphis. And I did look this up. It is a 2-hour drive from Memphis to Searcy, Arkansas. I do know that Memphis is close to Arkansas. You're
Wow.
welcome. Um,
Good for you.
yeah, thank you. She says, I know that he's nervous about meeting my parents, and then we see them at the airport. She's like, say hello.
They look like the most basic middle America people. I think they're
Yeah,
going to be fine.
everything's going to be fine.
I think it's going to they looked fine. I think it's going to be
Yeah.
fine.
I think the weirdest thing about this couple is that he is a Korean man with an Australian accent.
Right.
I
And
think
she's
that's
an Arkansas lady with a very many just TMJ accent.
yes, right. So Clayton gets a hotel room so he and Anali can finally bang because he's like, we haven't had sex since I've been here, at the apartment, duh. And
Why
he
didn't you do
lounges on
that
the
the first
bed.
night?
She comes out of the bathroom and she's in like a flannel shirt or something. He's like, hey, mwah, mwah. He's lounging on the bed and she says, I don't know, maybe he thought he looked like a model, but he looked like a cow all splayed out. Wow.
This is
Wow.
not good. But he's
I'm
doing
hoping
like
this is their humor with each other. That they just
I
do a lot
really
of
hope so
jabs.
because
Yeah.
he's like he wears like those white sneakers with like the acid wash jeans, and the
Yeah.
belt
Well,
and like he
yeah.
has his leg all propped up laying he literally looks like he's trying to be in like a Sports Illustrated swimsuit thing. Like that's going to be sexy. That's not but she doesn't want to do it with him at all. Like
Maybe she does. Maybe she does. Because she did before. I think, I think this is just their humor. I think they just poke at each other. I think everything's fine.
okay.
Nothing to see here. Move on.
Okay.
Nikki meets Justin's mom and stepdad, and then she's like, Can we get your blessing to get married?" Even though just in the car she was like, "I'm not marrying this guy." And in the talking head, Justin says, "Last time my mom met Nicole, she didn't know she was trans, but now she does." And then we see Nikki crying and saying she's tired of being disappointed and rejected. So maybe
It's
the
very
parents say
strange
no.
editing. Well,
Yeah.
first they seem lovely. Like they are
Yeah.
hugging Nikki and they're like the mom says, "It's been so long since I've seen you. It's so
Yeah.
nice." Lovely. And they're sitting on the couch, but then they cut and the mom says, "A mother always remembers." Or
Right.
something.
Remembers
Like
what?
what did
Right.
Nikki do? What is she remembering? Like did Nikki break
Mhm.
his heart and that or maybe because he was so like traumatized when he found out she was trans.
Maybe. Yeah.
Um
Or maybe it's because he was 19 and she was 30. I don't know.
hello.
It could be that. Um, so then Rob and Sophie are doing something romantic. They're out by like a fire pit or something. And Sophie says, he thinks romanticness means expensive, but I just want him to be nice to me. And then she tells him
That's
at
the
this,
one thing he can't give you, Sophie.
I know, that and loyalty are the two things you
Uh-huh.
want and you can't get it. So then she tells him at the fire pit, she says, I'm still going to have to be checking your phone. Like, we can't pretend nothing happened. He's like, you're just, basing past behavior on a future relationship. And and he just tries to throw some words
It
at
was
her that
like
make no sense.
yesterday.
Yeah. And she's like, we can't pretend like it didn't happen.
It just happened
Uh,
yesterday.
I know. Uh, Ashley tells Manuel, do you expect us to send money to your family every month? He says, yeah, at least $300. Yeah. Uh-huh. And she's like, I say, what? Yeah, she didn't know.
They need to watch
Um,
this show. They need to.
mhm.
They also have known each other for 10 years and they've never discussed this. I
Right.
think he
No,
hid this from her. I think he's
uh,
super shady.
now we're going to say she wants to have a baby and he doesn't. They didn't discuss that either.
Uh-huh.
Um, now, this is where at this scene, I decided I think I have to be done with Jasmine and Gino because Jasmine says to Gino, let's talk about what you did the day before I arrived. And then we get a classic Gino going, whoa, He always does that. Whoa, babe. Whoa, hey, Coco. Whoa. So we get a classic Gino going, whoa, as a naked dancer puts a belt around his neck and pulls him backwards while another dancer is shaking her ass in his face. He's being
So
pulled backwards by a belt on his neck. That's
that's
pretty
concerning.
intense. Yes,
I for sure think they have tried autoerotic asphyxiation now, and they have tried things in that Kama Sutra book.
for
Um,
sure.
so I thought maybe stupidly when we heard that he had this bachelor party that he had done it without the cameras and he tried to get away with it because the cameras weren't there. And then
Right.
Dana's wife blew it by saying the thing. But then
Yeah.
now we see TLC's cameras were there.
Right.
So this is all a plot line. Did he
Yes.
not think she was going to find out?
Yeah.
What is
Yeah.
he doing this for the show? Does he want to be punished because he's a bad boy? What's
Yeah,
happening?
maybe. I don't know. I don't know. We don't know if TLC cameras were there. This could have been like
That could have been a
Dana's
cell phone.
phone footage. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Um,
Found footage, like
found footage.
Blair Witch Project. Yeah.
I will correct you. I don't think Dana has a wife. I believe this is his sister-in-law, Michelle.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Not to disparage Dana. I'm sure he's
Michelle.
lovely, but
Yeah.
Michelle is married to his brother. So when he was like, you acted like I cheated on you. And she goes, that's the way it feels, Gino. And again, we see her giant mouth, cry face, eyes closed. Ah! And because I paused it, I was taking notes. I was like, I can't see this again. I saw it at the beginning of the episode in the car. And now I got to see it at the end of the episode with her screaming. We see her ring on the ground. She's yelling. And I said, this is Groundhog Day, and AI could write their story.
Yeah.
Because literally it's the same thing over and over and over.
Yeah. It's feeling like Michael, and Angela. And
yes.
It's like when TLC thinks we still want to see them, but we are all telling TLC we don't want to keep seeing them.
No.
Listen to us, Matt Sharp, please.
I know. I've got out my feelers for an interview with Matt Sharp, and I've got some things
Tell
to tell
him we don't want Big Ed. We hate Big Ed. We don't want him on our TVs. I don't want to see the ads for it. I don't want him to have any more of the sweet, sweet Matt Sharp money. And I'm feeling the same way about Angela because she's abusive. And I'm feeling the same way
we all feel
about
that way.
Gino and Jasmine because they're disgusting. Also, I don't love Libby and Andre on Pillow Talk, and I'm fine. And I don't love Miss Debbie on Pillow Talk either. I will tell him who I want on my Pillow Talk. Thank you.
Well, now you've hit me to my core. Because I'm in love with Andre.
Yeah.
And I love Miss Debbie.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay.
I don't mind. I find
she sent me a special video. She sent me a special video. I love her. If you followed me on Instagram, people out there, you would know. Yeah. At Pink Shade
I
Pod.
just don't need her and her son on Pillow Talk. Andre and Libby, I will keep on Pillow Talk. I will, but I will hard pass on Miss Debbie. I don't love some of her old fashioned takes, but
well, she's 70 something years old. So I mean, let's just, come on.
Yeah. But she's not like the one I hate the most. It's not like when Big Ed.
Who do you hate the most? Who do
Big
you hate
Ed.
the most?
Big Ed.
Oh,
Big Ed. Get rid of Big Ed.
He's on Pillow Talk. Not that I've seen.
He was like one episode a long time ago.
And it was him and his dog by themselves, or like him and his mom.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. No.
No, I'm fine with most. I really love my Pillow Talk, and
I know you do.
If I could craft my perfect couple, that would be a fun game, and maybe I'll do it for next time. And I'll tell
Emily and Kobe are pretty perfect on Pillow Talk.
Top 3, maybe top 1. Like they might have moved to the top of my list. They're hilarious. I will never forget their parody of Brandon and Mary when she was like, "Are you in the bathroom? Who is in the bathroom with you? Show me your phone. Show me around. Turn the phone around." Like they were so funny. I love them. Hilarious. Yeah, and I still love Veronica and Tim.
Me too. Me too.
So it's fine.
She also posted a video to me the other day. You would know if you followed me on Instagram at Pink Shade Pod. Veronica did. Did you see that?
No.
Oh my gosh, it's so funny, Kimberly. She was making a video like, "Oh my God, guys, I'm so excited. I just went and got Christmas pajamas, blah, blah, blah." she's telling the story, and she goes, I never find pink ones for me and Chloe, but this year I did. And so I'm thinking like, oh, I wonder why she tagged me. Maybe it's the pink pajamas. But accidentally, she knocked her Apple Watch, and a podcast started playing while she was doing the video, and it was like a cat going, Rear! And it was like she was listening to Pink Shade, but it was like an ad.
Oh my gosh.
So she was like, that's so funny. I'm listening to Pink Shade because they just did a BravoCon recap. I was just listening to that. And she was like, I'm not even going to cut this out. She was like, I thought I stepped on a cat, but it's because I was listening to Pink Shade. It was an ad. And she did this whole thing. Yeah.
Shut up. I love
How
that.
many Instagram followers did I get from that shout out? 4. I mean, I don't get it. I can't talk about it anymore, but I don't get it. I'm still not even at 8,400.
I'm so sorry. That's not fair. Let's talk to Veronica.
Yeah.
I've gotten a cameo from them, from Veronica and Tim, from my parents. So
I have her phone number. I texted her
there
personally.
You go.
Yeah, she gave me her phone number just like Chantel.
That's so nice.
I know. Veronica is actually one of the nicest people.
I think
ever.
that sounds right. Yeah. I believe that.
Yeah. She is exactly what you want her to be.
That's great.
Is.
That's great.
I will also say shout out to Matt Marr, who I believe right now is flying to Italy, I think, for Thanksgiving. And he is going to Italy, and he posted that maybe he was going to Oklahoma and then Italy. Anyway, he was next to Carrie Russell on the airplane. He was very excited about that.
Oh, good for him.
Yes, I was happy for him. I am happy when good things happen for good people.
I love him.
Everybody, please remember that Thursday will be a very special episode of Pink Shade. It'll be an interview with Chantel of 90 Day Fiance and the family Chantel. It's going to be very special on Thanksgiving. You listen to that while you're making your rolls or whatnot. And then continuing on Prime is 90 Day the Other Way and Plathville. Both of those are finishing up over there. We will roll into the Single Life and Smothered when those come out.
Oh my God.
And
I saw the ad for Smothered. I'm very scared.
It's a scary premise. It is. I believe it starts like either end of December or beginning of January. I got it all on the spreadsheet.
I think there was a scene where one of them smells somebody's underwear, and I got very upset.
Always. And always with the underwear. And you guys, as you know, Kimberly and Katie over on A Date with Dateline, they cover everything, not everything. They cover most things happening in our Dateline world. Are you guys covering the episode that was out this Friday about the Murdaws?
Yes, we are.
Okay.
I know some people are over it, but there's lots of new information, and we had a lot of fun with it. So
I'm not over it.
Okay, good.
I'm into it. All right. Thanks, everybody. Make sure you follow Kimberly and Katie at Dateline. They don't need your Instagram followers, but I do.
We do. We don't have that many more than you.
Yeah. Yes, you do. Please follow us at Pink Shade Pod. And I hope everyone has a happy Thanksgiving. Okay, bye. Ads not read by me, Mary Payne, don't necessarily reflect the views of Pink Shade. If you'd like to listen to ad-free, you're going to go on over to Supercast or Patreon, and you can find the links to Pink Shade Prime at pinkshadepodcast.com.